Live streaming is on.
Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I will be your host this evening. And I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to attend the after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building, flying, model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, well, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench, and then there's a link underneath that. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/S as in sunset, M as in Mary, and F as in Foxtrot. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you are inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or state your comments in the chat box on YouTube, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show. Understand that sometimes I can't get a word in myself, so be patient. I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comment. Now, regarding making comments or questions you must have a YouTube channel registered to be able to chat. So if you don't have a YouTube channel registration completed, you need to do that. Now, if you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts or the many building videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up. That's a like. Please subscribe and share the videos and comments. All those activities help the channel grow. So please also consider joining our YouTube channel memberships, which start at $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. And with your support, you will get emojis on the YouTube chat box, and I'll be able to see who you are, that you are a member or not. And plus, it helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. It really supports us. Now, with your memberships, you also can watch unlimited replay of member-only videos that Sparky has uploaded. And once a month, Sparky has a question and answer show for members only. You can also use the Super Chat, which is located at the bottom of the chat box, to make donations. Now, you can only do that during the live show. The Super Chat is not available during the replay. So again, please make a note. We do this every Monday and Friday at 6:45 p.m. until, I think, around midnight for most people. But you don't need to stay for the whole show. Just click on in and then make your donation, which would be greatly appreciated. And then watch it at a more convenient time. Watch the replay then. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making Stunthangar happen. And please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, don't use words or do things you wouldn't do around your children or grandchildren. And without any further ado, I'm going to go and post a link on stunthangar.com for people to come on in. And let me post that now. I have two monitors, so I'm looking at that. And let me see what's going on the YouTube stream. Looks like we have 7 concurrent viewers. Thank you very much. And 2 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. It's disappointing on the replays how few people do the likes during that time. So we get the majority of them during this live broadcast. So please do the likes, and please consider joining our YouTube membership channel. And don't forget to subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit the bell and check all notifications so that whenever Sparky comes on or I come on, you'll be notified. All right, so here we go. Thank you very much. Now we have 5 likes, and we have one more viewer. We moved up to 8, so thank you very much. Mondays are a little bit slower than Fridays, but we've had some good Monday shows as well. I went flying today with my chipmunk, and it was kind of windy for the chipmunk. It really wasn't that windy, but it was enough to. I need to do some trimming. I've been trimming the plane in really good weather, and fair winds, that kind of thing. And now that I'm flying in some windy weather, I need to make some adjustments to the trim. So I'm going to be pursuing that as long as we have the wind, which is good because in a contest, that's what separates the boys from the men is the weather. And so I'm going to address that. Probably need to. I was considering trying to find another prop that will work better in the windy conditions, and that's kind of what I'm going to pursue. There might be a better way, but I did lower the RPM a little bit, but the plane was kind of whipping a little bit, and it didn't seem to have a lot of authority above 45 degrees. It was being held back by the wind, and so I got to address that so that I feel comfortable in the wind. It's more me than the plane. The plane probably could have done it, but I didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't want to take a chance on the plane getting sideways on me and not be able to recover. So I was a little bit cautious. So anyways, there's no one in the chat. We have 8 concurrent viewers and 5 likes. And here comes our first person. Hey, here comes Philip Bailey. All right. Hey, Phil, I see your name. Let me see what's going on here.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. If I can figure out how to turn the volume down, I'm on a computer tonight instead of the iPad, and this thing is about to worry me. I got to find the volume. Here we go. We turn. Huh? It's working, but the volume's way too loud. Let me see. I think this will do it. No, that didn't do it. It's still too loud. I'll figure it out.
I know you'll figure it out.
Yeah. How you doing, Charles? You been doing any flying?
I went flying today. It was a little bit windy out here, and I've been thinking about trying to find another prop that might work a little bit better in the wind. Right now, I have a Zor 10.6, which is a good prop, but I only have one prop right now that I'm using. I have other Zor props the same size, about 3 backup props, but I haven't really done a whole lot of experimentation. But I'm suspecting that I might need to have a different prop in windy weather. Have you ever tried having different props for different environments?
Oh yeah. In windy weather, I go to a different propeller, and when there's no wind at all, I use a smaller prop. Makes less turbulence. You don't fly through your own nest so much. Yeah, I've got a 3-blade. One plane I have a 3-blade, a 2-blade, and a small 2-blade for. So yes, I've tried all kinds of different stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but every plane's different.
Right.
That chipmunk ought to be a good plane for that, though. That ought to be a good plane, period.
I saw but Tom Dixon when I went to the Nats. It was pretty windy, and he flew his chipmunk. I think he had a double star 54 in there, and he seemed to have no problem flying that plane in the wind.
Tom Dixon doesn't know that there is wind. He's always been like that.
Yeah,
I saw him fly. I saw him 30 years ago fly a Fox 35 powered airplane. It's so windy. Everybody says, I know we came to the contest, but I'm not sure I'm going to take the plane out of the car. Tom put in a flight, 3-foot bottoms, and just blew everybody away. That's just Tom.
Yeah, I said earlier that the wind or the environment, the ambient weather, it separates the boys from the men.
I'm telling you what, that guy's got some great big ones, I'm telling you. He will blow your mind in the wind.
Yeah, I know.
He's
I
something
was
else.
impressed. I actually pitted for him, and so I saw the whole flight, and I was impressed. But I'm thinking right now I have a Zor 10.6. I have a Rev Up 10.6 EW, and
Well, now the EW will be better when it's not so windy. You need some more over the top to get over the top, but you need to try a 10.5 or something to slow it down if you need to slow it down. But in the wind, a Zor is very efficient.
yeah, it
in
is.
the wind, you need. So I don't know. You just gonna have to experiment.
Yeah,
you started
exactly.
out. You started out with a prop I would tell you to try. So I don't know. I just have to go out there with a handful of propellers and tell you to try every one of them and see which one works. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I got to do. I mean, I've been trimming it and stunt having weather, and I had such a comfort level and just beautiful weather. And not that it's super windy. I mean, today, but the last time I flew before, I think it was last Friday. It was, I didn't take out my anometers. I don't know how much it was blowing, but it was blowing last Friday. Today, not so much, but still, I didn't feel very comfortable because it wasn't like the perfect weather.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, weather we've had here, it's either raining, it's windy.
You must have hit your mute button for somehow. You're muted, Phil. There you go.
Okay.
Okay,
that'll do it.
That it's been windy or raining
every day. Every time we try to go, it's either windy as heck or it's rainy as heck. We just can't seem to get it. Can't seem to get it where we want it. But we're having a lot of fun anyway. We go out there and fly in the wind, and you can't do as much, but you can fly, and that's beat sitting in the house.
Yeah.
So we're having a lot of fun.
I didn't feel comfortable going above 45 degrees that much. That's I did everything else, but like the vertical 8, I didn't really do that. I wasn't sure about that maneuver or the hourglass.
Yeah, I know what you mean there.
Yeah.
It's more, well, in the wind, it becomes a real challenge. That's the one maneuver that's cost me more airplanes than anything else is the daggum hourglass. And I finally, I keep telling you all to visualize your maneuvers and visualize before you go out there to fly.
Right.
And I finally decided, dumb, you should listen to your own stuff because I do it for everything else, but I had never stopped and thought about an hourglass. So think about it. If you're going to do an hourglass, that X ought to be at 45 degrees, right straight in front of you. It shouldn't be off to one side. I keep coming back, and I get the first half of it is beautiful. But once I make my turn, I turn too sharp, and I come back too far down this way and stretch it out.
Right.
So I finally just had to look at it, and I said, all right, it's got to be this way. So I said, all right, I got to find the spot. So I moved over. Our circle has the big circle, and then it has grass, and it has a small circle. So I moved to the inside of the circle or away from where everybody was standing. And getting there, the top of the tree was 45 degrees. And I said, all right, I need to hit the top of that tree on the down line. And I did. Tommy said, you finally got an hourglass that really looked good.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, son of a gun. Okay. So I've been trying for several weeks to do that. 3 or 4 weeks to do that with a new plane. And it's been elusive. Been very elusive. But I finally got it. Now I just have to figure out how to get it when there's not a big tree standing right there. So I'm still working on it, but I'll get it.
Yeah, it's all, you can learn the pattern, but it takes you the rest of your life to perfect it.
Oh, that's the truth. That is the truth.
Sinclair.
Good deal.
Time. Hey, Gary.
Hey.
I got you in on the first
Hey,
clip.
Gary, how are you?
All right.
You're on to something.
Hey, you got Friday on the check-in time. This is another Friday. This is actually Monday.
Thank you very much. I'll fix that.
I looked at it. Friday? No.
You know what? I can't tell what day it is. What can I say?
You're not even You're not even retired.
I know. I don't know how that happened. I just didn't edit that, but I'll fix that right now as we are. But thank you, Gary.
Hey, don't need to yell.
Okay, so
I
I
can't get it.
fixed that.
Pull one of them out of your
And let me go fix the
Pull one
link
out of your
on Stunt Hangar.
That's a good idea. Boy, this thing is loud.
Let me let Tryon in. And
Okay, wait a minute. I don't know how.
No.
Hey, Tryon.
Yeah.
Hi,
Thanks for coming in.
Brian.
Okay.
Hey, good to see you
Okay.
guys.
Hey, Tryon.
I just learned that today is not Friday. I got to fix the link I put up. So I'm doing that now as let's see here and modify. You guys go ahead and talk.
Hey, Tryon.
Yeah.
I was watching a video. Looks like 68 gnats, I think, and look, someone was repairing an airplane, and you was. I thought I saw you there in the picture.
No way.
It wasn't 68.
I was
It was another.
in the United States in
Not-
1990.
Well, no, it's yeah, that's wrong. It's not 9. Was it 96?
96. Yes.
You remember that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you. I thought, well, that looks like Tryon there.
Yeah, he looks young in that video. I saw the video too with Wendy Anowski.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
Wendy.
It
Yeah,
was like a team effort to fix this plane. That was pretty cool.
yeah.
There's a story behind that. The year before, I went to my first contest and I flew beginner with a SV12 on Turnpike, right? And I won the contest, and after that, that was the only time I stayed in beginners. Then I went to intermediate, and I've won every single intermediate contest after that. And I went to the nationals for the first time. I was in that year, 96, right?
96. Okay. Huh?
So I'm practicing they had 9 circles on the grass pit, right? So I took the one in a smack down in the center, right? Just by myself, nobody else there. So I'm flying flight after flight after flight after flight. I mean, I'm flying like mad. I mean, real serious flying, right? I think I put at least 20, 30 flights in one day, the day before. So John Benzing and Paul Winter were on the circle next to me, and I was watching them flying. They were watching me flying, and I'm going like, man, those guys are good. And they're going, man, that guy is good, right? and they came to United States for the first time, and they flew intermediate just to get the practice kind of flying kind of thing, right? I'm intermediate in the United States. I'm flying intermediate. I'm thinking they are going to fly advanced, right? At the Nats. They are thinking I'm going to fly advanced at the Nats. And I'm putting one last warm-up flight before the contest actually starts. The intermediate contest actually starts, and I'm looking at the flight line, and I recognize their planes.
Oh boy.
Right.
Oh, stuff.
Oh, snap.
Oh, stuff. Oh, it's on now, right?
It's on. You gotta
Yeah.
bring it.
So that's in a practice flight just before the contest starts.
Good job.
I said I want to bring my coordinate, my triangle a little bit lower, and I brought it a little bit too low.
Oh no.
And that's the scene over there, like everybody fixing my plane. Well, I went on. The plane was flying different, but I managed to qualify, and then I made the fly-offs, and I won the contest.
Very good.
I
Wow.
won the
very
contest. That was that Nats that very year was the last time I flew intermediate.
Wow.
And
That
that,
was in 96?
yeah, that was actually the first time John Brodak was offering intermediate and Nats for the first time. That was the first year.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like a combination of things, So now John Brodak paid my entry to go fly in advance, in which I think I finished in a top 10, I think. My first time in advance.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So
You did
So
well.
that's the story behind it, you know. Just I was flying with that plane, and I still made it in top 10 after it was busted and stuff like that. So I'll take it. That was a good year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. Let me say hi to John and Denny. Thank you guys for coming in. Appreciate it. And let me catch up on the chat. Dennis Adamison, welcome. Thank you for supporting us and joining the YouTube channel. Appreciate that. Thank you, Dennis. And then Mark Lumen says, having camera problems, but may come in anyway. And then Tom Bramley says, you got a like from me, Charles. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. So we're up to 10 likes, and we have 18 viewers. So that's pretty good.
Well, that's no problem with Mark not having a camera. We just like the cute ones to show up on a video.
Yeah.
With this group, no camera isn't necessarily a bad thing. So.
Yeah.
I just wonder how the camera broke.
It's pretty easy to take a chip shot when nobody
got mine in,
at you, right?
You know who your friends are.
I have news. I have news. You might better be careful because Mark is pretty quick-witted sometimes. He's got some pretty good singers.
I know. Yeah.
Oh Lord,
That's cool. That's cool.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
Dennis, have you gone out
Gotta
flying?
have fun when you can.
I know you went flying with your buddy there, Dick West, right?
right, Wesley, Dick, and I, we are into our NATS training regime right now. So I got the real airplane out today for the first time. Some new mods on it that look like they're going to work really good. And I am really wired. We got Wes up to 3 ounces at a time and his ringmaster, trying to build his stamina up and everything like that. So he's doing great.
Wow.
He has real bad vertigo, and he literally has to work his way into flying stunt patterns. It started a year. It's like, dealing with the dizziness and everything like that. So today he actually did reverse wing overs and vertical 8s, which he hadn't been able to do up to now. And I think, basically, if he can do an hourglass, if he can do a vertical, he can do an hourglass and an overhead. And maybe he'll start bringing out his real airplanes then too. So,
How old is
very neat.
How old is Wesley Dick?
Wes is 89.
89.
Wow.
Very young,
PhD.
89 years, and like I say, he's had trouble with his stamina. I mean, we started off, he was flying 2-ounce tanks, and he'd come down exhausted. All right, he was able to fly 2 flights our first time out. Now we're flying 3 and flying longer and stuff, and he seems, more energetic too. So that's all the good news. He's gonna. I tell you what, he's going to be gunning for the rest of us come Muncie. So
very good.
It's kick butt and take names. So
it's an accomplishment for an 89-year-old to not only fly the pattern but to remember all 15 maneuvers.
Oh well.
Wait a minute.
As probably any of us have known, age is no barrier to forgetting maneuvers. So.
That's true.
I've been doing it. I've been doing it for a long time.
I think I
don't remember when, right?
I forgot a triangle in a contest one time. I couldn't believe it. I landed feeling really good with myself, and my buddy comes out and he goes, "You forgot the triangle." And I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't do it."
First BSC I went to, I'm standing there, and Bob Hunt is getting ready to fly. I'd missed his earlier flight. He's getting ready to fly, and there's guys all around the circle on the downwind side, or the upwind side. And as he goes flying by, they hold these big 4x4 signs up. Loops. He'd forgotten the maneuver the first day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what year it was, but I've seen pictures of that. Yeah.
In
I
92.
was
Bobby carries a little card in his pocket now. And he
Mhm.
runs his thumb down, keeps up with which maneuver is next. I learned a lot watching him. I laugh at it sometimes, but I'm trying to laugh with him because I've done the same thing. He's taught me a lot. So he's a good guy.
I was helping a guy at Rodax, and he went up, did his inside loops, did 2 laps, and did his outside loops, and come back. So, he did basically what you do when you're flying an old time pattern. Did 2 laps, inverted, and came back. You come down, and it's like, I don't know how to tell you this, but you left out your inverted flight. Think about that a minute, all right? You got credit for the loops on either side, but he left out inverted flight after flying inverted. So
Yeah, you didn't fly 2 laps inverted. That's when it starts.
that's it. He flew two laps between his inside rounds and his outside rounds, but he didn't fly any inverted flight.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the things you see, I guess.
Hey, Denny, have you seen Barker's post on Stunt Hangar about memories or something like that in the main forum? He posted
I
Memories.
think so.
He posted a whole bunch of pictures, and there's a
Oh, Dick
couple of really
Byron?
good pictures of your dad.
Yeah, Dick Byron posted them on Facebook. So I can't see him.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he posted them also on Stunt Hangar on the main forum, and it takes you right to Facebook.
Yeah, when I go to Facebook, it says join, and you can look at the photos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you don't
I
go on
looked at him
Facebook, you can't see
a
it.
while ago.
So yeah, he put a link
No,
there.
that's
and
right, but I
actually tried it, and I could basically, when you click the link, I could see his header page, and then there was photos. I clicked on the photos, said, well, sorry, you got to join. So, and I guess I don't want to see him that bad. So.
Yeah, there's a huge collection. Kind of jumps around a bit, but I found a picture from the first VSC I ever went to. The picture of the group photo at the end where everybody's holding an airplane up, and I'm right in the middle with kind of a pink cap, baseball cap on, holding my little green and white junior magician.
Ooh, junior magician.
Yeah.
Let me give a shout out to Eddie. Eddie, thanks for coming in.
The first VS.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Eddie. The first VSC I went to, hang on just a second. Take care, buddy. I'll catch you later. My grandson. Next to youngest grandson. Anyway, the first VSC I went to, I met Betty, your mama, and that was a gas. That woman, she kept me laughing, and Art just says, you see why I keep her around. I said, yeah, because you like to eat. Is that woman that hurt you?
Yeah, that occurs too, don't it? So.
Yeah, she was a sweetheart. But that was the year that your dad took those 2 airplanes. Somebody else built them, but they had amazing finishes on them. And I had the pictures up, and they're in the tablet. I'm on the computer. But anyway, he had 2 airplanes there somebody else built that looked like plastic. They were amazing. And I think you showed pictures of one of them at least before. But your mama was a jewel. Your daddy was just all there was. He was those. You come from good stock, son. I'm telling you.
That's it.
You didn't have a choice.
I guess I'm the one that dropped the ball then. So.
I meant.
Can't live up to
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I don't think you're dropping the ball at all, Denny. I don't know you as well as I know your dad, but I know you well enough to know you ain't dropping the ball, son. But anyway, I got to meet them. Got to meet. I met. I'd always heard of Oh, for heaven's sakes, designed the Nobler.
George Aldridge.
George Aldridge.
Yeah.
George Aldridge. I met George and went and talked to him, cut up with him, and met him again at Brodax a couple of years later. And boy, George, if he knows you and he sees you, boy, he comes up and just gives you a bear hug. He was a mess. Thought of that man too. He was a really nice guy.
Wow.
A lot of those older guys were just really neat. But a lot of real characters that I've grown up reading about, I met at VSC and at Brodax. Luis Corinne, he's funny. I mean, he don't try to be a comedian. He just does some crazy things. But a couple of guys that I had never met. I met Bill Werwidge at VSC, and I got to talking to him, and I had met him years ago, but I'd forgotten about him. I met him in '77 down in Atlanta at the team trials. But Billy's got an amazing memory. He remembers everything.
Mm-hmm.
But or did then. I don't know about now, because he, like me, is getting a few years on him now. But a lot of those old guys, you guys haven't. If you haven't met some of the older stunt guys, go out of your way to meet some of them and talk to them a little bit, because they're amazing. You'll learn more in 5 minutes than you ever thought you could. And Trey's got some really shiny stuff he's fooling with. I don't know what it is. I know what it is, but he's playing with some really shiny stuff tonight. Look at that.
I'm sorry if I blind you.
Right. I thought it was his Honda back there.
No.
Let me say hi to Mel. Hey, Mel, thanks for coming in.
I am in
Yeah, good to see you.
Honda right now.
And Mark
I had my
Mark
78th birthday on Saturday, guys. So I'm getting there now.
You're doing what, Jack? You're doing what now?
I said I had my 78th birthday Saturday.
You had it, or you
Oh,
want
my
to have
goodness.
it?
Happy birthday. Congratulations.
Is that
quite an-
78
that's quite an
years old or
accomplishment.
years young?
78 days.
Young. 78 years young.
Yeah.
Hey, well, happy birthday, John. That's awesome.
Happy birthday, little lady.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No
You know,
problem.
out here,
Happy birthday, John.
you know, out here when you, have about that many more. Out here, when you have a birthday, when you go to lunch after flying, your lunch is free. So you'll have to come out
Oh,
here
yeah?
and buy your lunch. Yeah.
You
We'll buy
guys,
everybody's lunch. Mine's,
you guys know that statistics show that those that have the most birthdays live the longest.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I'm buying that.
I'm going to call a boo hiss on that one. Boo hiss. Bad. Oh, we were talking Saturday, and one of the guys says, "I want to know how so many of the older guys look. How so many of the older guys look so good." I said, "Do we look good?" He says, "You're not one of the older guys." I thought.
Oh, you just stepped in that one, huh?
Oops, we lost Bill.
You gotta stop. Anyways, Mark Lumen, he said true to something. I don't know what he's saying true to.
We were picking on him for his camera.
We've come to.
There he is.
Where is Mark?
Mark is
Come on in here, Mark.
he's saying he's having computer problems, but may come in anyway. So, yeah, come on in, Mark.
Well, come on in and aggravate us. Well, let us aggravate you. I mean, you come in here for a little fun and fellowship. What do you get? What do you get? Made fun of and talked down to. So come on in.
Hey, Mel, what's going on, Mel?
Hey, Mel.
I was didn't have the video on because I had to take a little break. Left the room was all. But I came to watch this
What I'm getting ready to do.
guy that's polishing, working on the molds. It's intriguing. Last week I watched from YouTube. It was a lot of fun. That was educational. So I was hoping he was here tonight, and he is. So I'm going to sit and watch some more.
Oh no, not that guy.
That guy out there.
Watch that guy.
Yeah, he looks just like you, Tryon, the guy.
Somebody got a message.
Looks just like Trayan. My goodness.
What?
Trayan, how you coming on the new plane? You getting anywhere on the new plane yet?
I'm treating the molds right now. They are all polished and
Okay.
all this stuff, and I'm cleaning them
Oh
up.
yeah, that's shiny. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I got to know how to turn the mic off so I can eat my ice cream.
Look how dirty they are. This is only one of them.
Oh, wow.
Good God.
You have to
Good grief,
repolish.
What?
You have to repolish for every time you do a plane.
No, you don't have to. But since I'm the thing is that I had I was using wax and PVA prior to this, the time that I did it before this time, right? And I want to put semi-permanent release system in the molds right now. So I have to treat them, and I have to take all the wax and everything off of them. So polishing them takes the wax off and also freshens up the surface as well. So I want to have something that looks pristine, looks nice, and hopefully I'm gonna have the same results from now on.
Okay.
Very good. Hey, Dennis, you sound so much better tonight. What'd you do?
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
No, not just that.
Oh well. Anyhow, I guess I just got a good connection.
Fantastic. Wow. I mean, it's total crystal clear. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You bought a new mic.
I did not buy a new mic.
No.
I do have. When I plug into the PC, I think it's like every other time I plug it in, it does better than it did before. Like, sometimes it just barely seems to come through. For what it's worth, you guys are coming through spectacular too. So it means that I use a T coil or something that talks to the T coils in my hearing aids, and so it's a neck loop, and so that makes a difference. I need it. Whatever.
Well, you sound great, man. It's awesome.
So.
We have Mike. This Mike Lonke. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Hey, Mike.
It's Mikey. I mean, Mike. He's gonna kill me next time. He's gonna see me.
What's up, guys?
Hi, Mike. Oh, that was a good. I followed your stuff on Facebook about the Detroit contest.
Yeah, I did too.
And love the comment where you said that the son has surpassed the dada.
Yeah, he has. We got home about 30 minutes ago.
Oh my.
Oh.
Yeah, we left this morning because I had to. We had to pick up a bunch of planes from around Colombo, and then I had to stop and pick up all my fireworks for my fireworks show, and then I stopped in Indiana at Eric Taylor's gun shop to pick up 10 gallons of SIG fuel.
Not bad.
He did a SIG order. Well, it was pretty amazing getting all that stuff in my truck without my cap on it. I had to stop at Walmart and buy 100 feet of rope, and I looked like the Clampets moving to Beverly Hills.
Grandma on the top.
I took a roll of contractor bags and I put everything in contractor bags in case it rained, and then tied everything down. Every time I stopped, I tied more stuff to it. I had everything but Granny and a rocking chair on top of that thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I had all them fireworks in the back.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
On top of. So yeah, that was probably pretty smart too, 200 pounds of fireworks with 10 gallons of nitromethane model airplane fuel following it back there.
What could possibly go wrong, Mike?
What could
Perfect
possibly go
combination, man.
wrong, right?
And all that sounds, and a little bit of ammunition and stuff just for good measure, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I did have some ammo in there. My nephew made me some 44 mag and brought it to me while I was up there. So, yeah, not much, just a couple hundred rounds. But, yeah,
just a couple hundred.
I think Mike,
war with that stuff.
I had alcohol, tobacco, and firearms in the vehicle. So,
Terrific.
all three.
Sounds like the only thing you haven't mentioned is where the emergency road flares were. So.
Didn't have any. No.
Oh.
Don't care. I've got an LED one. LED one.
Oh, okay.
I don't even think they make road flares anymore. But
How's
anyway,
your shoulder?
I made it through the weekend pretty good, man. The pills are working good. So yeah, I flew half A and speed limit combat. I did not fly slow or fast. Sam flew half A speed limit and slow. And F2D. He took third place in slow combat. He took second place in half A speed limit combat, and he took second place in his first F2D contest.
Outstanding.
Yeah, it wasn't just 4 guys there. There was 8 or 9 guys flying in every event. So he did good.
Oh yeah,
wow, that's impressive. Yeah. I was just thinking of an excuse you could use, Mike. You could remind Sam that he never beat you until you had your surgery. So you can always say,
Oh yeah, my hands are messed up, right? Yeah, now it's my shoulder. I just make excuses, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good plan to me, Mike. I don't know.
Well, he flew his little butt off, man. He was on fire, and I had some good matches too in speed limit with Ron Marcione, who's a real good combat pilot, and I don't get a chance to fly him that often. We had a pretty good barn burner that went the whole 5 minutes, and I think he beat me like 5 cuts to 3 or something, man. But I wasn't giving up till the very end. But we had a good one, and Sam. Let's see, he won his first F2D match, so he got to continue on because it was a single elimination contest. So that was pretty good. And the same thing in slow. He won his first match, so he got to keep going.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That's great.
A lot of fun, for sure. Because we got there Thursday night. We flew all day Friday practicing. And we flew 3 events Saturday. Flew the jet Saturday afternoon. And then flew 2 events on Sunday. And then we came home today. We came home today because I had to stop at Eric's, and his shop's closed on Sunday. But I was practically going right through there, and I wanted to get my fuel. I didn't want to have to make another trip up to Louisville. He's right over the Louisville border into Indiana. Like literally 2 exits is where his place is. Mm-hmm. So we did that little detour. Something else I was going to tell you. Oh, it's not really flying related. It's more Detroit police and tear gas related. I'll save it for the after show.
Okay. But I have a question for you, Mike.
Uh-oh.
How many combat planes did you take, and how many did you lose or get destroyed? Any?
So we brought 7 half A's, only 4 of which were good. The others, I had a needle valve problem on one, motor mount broke on another one, and the other one, there was some issue with. Well, we had 4 trimmed out by the end of the day. Bringing all those back. Didn't break any of those. We took 6 speed limits, and the only fatality we had was my pushrod horn came loose, and it went into the ground, but it didn't break the airplane. I just got to put it back on and screw it back together. So we didn't break any speed limits. Wow. And then in slow, we took 2 airplanes, and Sam stuffed it in his 3rd match, and it just broke the needle valve out because it's they're Nelson's on suction, so the needle valve's in the Venturi. So right. When they go in, that's the first thing that happens. It breaks the needle right off. So, but the airplane's not broken. And then so that was it. Really, we didn't lose any of our new stuff, any of our good
That's
stuff.
great.
It's all still good for Nats. Yeah, we didn't have any mid-airs. Neither one of us had any mid-airs, so that was good. And then when we stopped at Ronnie's this morning, he loaded us up with 12 brand new F2D airplanes, 8 motors, 10 sets of lines, 2 handles, and 50 Nelson plugs and 20 F2D props.
Wow.
For
Nice.
Sam to get ready.
Wow.
I don't even want to
Talk
ask
about a haul. Good
how
gracious.
much that adds up to. It's a few $1,000s easily, right?
It's about $2,400 worth of motors, $600 worth of airplanes. Nelson plugs are $8 a piece now, so 8 times 50. What's that? 400? Is that right?
Wow.
Few thousand.
$400. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I can't do combat. I don't have the
Yeah.
financial support to do that.
Hey, Walter.
Yeah. Well, I don't either. You know, this is all. Sam's getting sponsored by Ronnie because Ronnie does not fly the event, and he has all the equipment, and he doesn't want to see it go to rot. You know, and he's known Sam since Sam was 5 years old, and he's known Sam since I started bringing him up there, and Sam's been flying combat up there for the last 4 years in Detroit at the Nats. Ron comes to our Huntersville contest, so he's got the stuff. Ron don't care about money. He's the guy that once he's bought it, it's kind of forgotten that he spent the money on. You know what I mean? He don't have a problem giving anything to anybody. He's a good
very
guy.
nice of him. Super
So
nice of
he
him.
wants to see Sam succeed and get him started on his way. So he offered, and we accepted the sponsorship.
What a guy.
Sam's gonna have to wear a T-shirt that says "Sponsored by Ron Colombo" or something. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to put Ron's name on our pickup truck or something like that. But yeah, so we got all that stuff to get set up and go through and start practicing with. And that's about it for the contest report. We had a great weekend, a lot of fun. I almost swore there. I am very tired right now, so I'm going to have a drink and sit back and listen to everyone. I just want to tell Walter my kits arrived today. Walter, thank you very much. They're here in good shape. I got them, so I'll turn it back over to you, Charles.
All right. Hey, Walter, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
I got a gift today.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet I know what it is. I bet I know what it is.
All right.
Let me make you big, Walter. Hang on. Oh, yeah. You got one of your kits back.
Yep.
I can't see him. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Got CR32.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. It came today. Thank you very much, Mike. I know you had a big part in that one.
Not much, man. Really. I actually told these guys you were getting that back after we were in the after party a couple of weeks ago, and you had already left. So I mentioned to him because we had talked about that kit before. Tony he did so well, selling all the stuff that he had at Marshall's, and he got down to the very last stuff, and he says, "You know what? I just want to send that to that guy. Give me his address." And I was like, "Okay." So he texted me and asked me for your address and said he was going to get it out to you. I'm glad he did it, man. Tony was a very fair guy to deal with and a nice guy. And he was like, I made enough money off this stuff. The $100 I'm going to get it for, I'd rather give it back to the guy that made it. So good on you. Glad you got it, man.
Thanks. It'll go back in my collection. I'll rebox it, though. Apparently there was a fire or something.
Yeah. Marshall's house burned down, and a lot of his stuff was in his house. The only stuff that survived was in his garage.
Okay.
But he had, about half his stuff in the house and half his stuff in the garage. Apparently, he had bedrooms full of stuff, because he lived alone. He lived alone. He wasn't married, so he had like 2 bedrooms that were full of model airplane stuff.
Yeah, he used to tell me that he was to the ceiling almost. You know, whether he was joking or not. It's
I never saw it.
He
but
wasn't joking.
I know people that have been there, and that's what they said, to the ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, I sold him a lot of stuff.
He was loaded.
He actually bought the prototype to my sweet.
He was a guy.
Huh? I didn't hear what the guy said.
Phil broke up. I don't know. The sweep?
Yeah, the
Oh, I see.
orange and white
Go
one.
ahead.
I mean, orange and clear.
Yeah, that plane was there.
Orange pearl.
I could have had that airplane.
Yeah, it was orange pearl all over.
Yeah. I didn't take it because it's not really my style, but one of Marshall's flying buddies, Larry Skelly, got that airplane, and he has it now.
But you're a combat guy. The one thing you should know is that airplane. That is the airplane that was DQ'd from the event because of the wing fences.
Oh, yeah, because they're snags. Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
with Vintage Combat came back, I didn't even know the airplane myself, and I flew combat for how many years? I flew with the 80 Nats combat, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about that airplane.
Well, your prototype still lives. Larry Skelly has it now. So it had a pretty big split in the top of one of the wings in the covering, which was unfortunate because it was a beautiful model. I mean, the finish on it was really, really nice, and the paint job was awesome, and it had sweet sweep on the wing. It was a gorgeous airplane. But I'm sure Larry, he's up to the task of restoring it because that's what he's doing. He told me he's already got Marshall's Cavalier 6 whatever. Is it a 650? Cavalier 650? Said he's already got that almost restored. Yeah. The blue
Tell
one.
him it's got orange pearl on it.
Orange pearl. Okay.
On top of the clear and on top of the orange. Let me get a picture of it so these guys know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I just saw Larry at the Eldorado.
One that's terrible that we lost.
Down there. So who built it? Did you build it, Walter?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I built the prototype.
One.
What? Okay, thank you. No, just okay. All right. My little dog wanted me. Okay. Let me just get this picture. Let me see here.
One that's a shame that we lost in the fire was that Stuka. That thing was gorgeous.
Oh, wow, it's nice.
Remember the black Stuka, Mike?
I don't remember the black. Yeah, that's it
I don't
right
see
there.
it.
Had my hands on it. I could have
Let's
got
see.
it.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
I can't see it. Oh, there it is.
Is that the same
Wow,
plane?
that is pretty.
Is that the same plane that, or not the exact same plane, but that plane is what
Bobby
Bob has hanging on his wall?
No.
Yes.
Well,
has on his wall, yes.
Yeah, he's got a sweep hanging on his wall.
yeah, it's the same model.
Right.
But mine is glow, and that's how it's supposed to be. Bob's is electric, and he modified the nose and the center section.
Yeah.
But this is what it's supposed to look like.
That's cool. That is a very cool looking plane. Now, what engine's on there, Walter?
That happens to be an OS 25 FP.
On pressure?
Nope.
Section?
Yep. Just ordinary suction. Let's see.
Well, that's a lot of sweep in the wings. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
Now, is that just panel lines or does it have flaps?
No. It's just
It's just cattle lines.
Okay.
I've actually never flown the airplane. I sold it to Marshall. Let's see. Here's another one.
Pretty.
Bob Lipscomb. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll give you a try. Can you guys see the blue one?
Not yet.
No, you got to stop sharing that one to pull up another one.
Okay, I got to stop sharing.
No, I can't.
And then I got to reshare.
Ooh, that's nice too.
That's Bob Lipscomb's. Up in New England, I guess.
Yeah. That's sharp.
He used to be in Texas.
It went back.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. He actually sent me some modified CAD files for it, which I did not actually use when I made the kit.
Yeah, he's a good captain. He's the guy I got the files for the balsa hatch pattern, so you can do your balsa graining on your drawing.
Okay.
So Walter, did that plane have adjustable lead outs, or they just came out at the right spot?
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that picture of the wing. Let's see.
What?
You can't see that one. I'm trying to get the picture that I had it hanging when I painted it. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if this one works, guys. Can you see it here?
Oh, yeah.
That's without the engine. That was after I painted it. That was where I gave it its clear coat, right outside in the yard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know that spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, somebody put a hole in my wing. Not on this. John Miller visited me, guys, which was, I'll tell you, an experience. I was working on the Imperial, the Ringmaster Imperial.
Right.
And Gene Martin come over, John was there, and I was there, and we were all fiddling around. Everybody took a chance with the spray gun and with the masking tape and everything. And, we were trying to get the thing done. That plane was built, painted, and ready to fly in 21 days.
Wow.
Start to finish. But here's what happened. John Miller is quite a comedian. And every time I walked away from the airplane, he would make a distinct little sound. Do you recall, John?
No, but it sounds like me.
He made a distinct little sound like he was popping silk.
Oh,
like he popped the silk span. After about 10 times, it got so old that he really broke the wingspan.
Oh, man.
He actually put a hole in my wing on the bottom, thank God. And he started to get upset. He actually got upset that he set me back a couple of days. I said, oh, hell no, I'll have this thing back together in less than an hour. We silk spanned it, gave it 4 coats, 5 coats of dope, and got it right back into color in an hour and 15 minutes. Maybe. I taught John about heating with the monocoat iron.
Wow.
How to heat, silk span, and dope. And you can actually shrink silk span when the dope is wet. Yeah, I'm talking about a hole between one panel.
Yeah, I really did a bad deal.
It was an accident. He was screwing around and he did an accident. It's not a big, it's not a big deal.
Hole, basically?
Huh?
Like a 1-inch hole?
No, probably 3 to 4 inch hole.
Ooh, John.
You know, he was sanding it. We were outside. We were doing wet sanding, and I don't know what he did because I was walking away, and every time I walked away, he was Mr. Comedian, and made like a bink sound, like he popped the silk span. Well, like I said, after about 10 times, he must have accidentally just stabbed it like this by accident, sliced it. It was about 3 or 4 inches, I guess.
What a friend, man. What a friend.
Yeah, what a pal.
Yeah, I'll bet you guys laughed your butts off over that one.
So, I like how many times you say in accident.
Yeah.
It was not one of my better moments.
Hey, John, is that what made you move out to Utah?
Yeah. I figured I'd get out in the desert far enough nobody could find me.
I was heavier then, so I could have really done some damage.
Yeah,
and you should have stayed back this way. At least we get where
he could have sat on me and I'd be flat.
It could have made pop through silk span, huh? So.
Yeah. But he showed me something, how to, I don't know whether it was that time or another time, but he showed me something where he patched, got a piece of silk span and patched it from the inside.
Really?
And got all the pieces, the broken pieces all lined up there, and you could hardly tell it ever been broke.
That's pretty amazing.
You peel it out. You peel out what pops out, and you just kind of wet it with the brush, and you get one side done, and then you get another side done. And I'm not talking about top and bottom. Corners, you do a round patch if you can. Okay? A little trick about silk span, guys. 2 things. Don't cut it for repairs, and try to always make it an oval, because you can't see the corner when you make an oval.
Yeah, tell you what, you'd have been hard pressed to find that patch when we took it down to the orange contest there. What was it, 3 or 4 days later?
Yeah. Yep. We actually took it there a couple of days later, and it was ready to fly, but John wouldn't let me fly it because it was too windy.
Well, we hadn't gotten a chance to really trim it out, and I flew it a couple times, and it felt like it needed more trim, and I didn't want to after putting a hole in the way.
Well, you already did that, so it didn't matter at that point.
Well, I didn't want to take a chance of dorking the thing for him.
That's all right. Don't worry about it. It went off real well, and then with all our concerns about injuring the airplane and everything, on the way home, my trailer broke, and the plane was inside the trailer with 2 extra trailer hitches, a field box, and oh God, what else was in there? Fuel and everything. And the only thing that happened to it was
this thing flipped over, I'm telling you.
The trailer went wild. It just went nuts. It completely broke away from the neck. The long bar. Don't ever buy a Harbor Freight trailer. The small ones. I bought one. I put it together. A friend of mine helped put it together. The thing was square as a rock. Okay, square as a box. Then I put somebody must have seen it. It was a big orange box on a trailer. Anyway, I'm heading down I-95, at about 11 o'clock at night, we picked up Jim Snelson from the airport, and I'm trying to make it home because we got to go back to the contest the next day, and I really didn't have money for a hotel, 90 miles away from the house. So we drove all the way home, there and back. On the way home, the trailer, I happened to look in my mirror, and the trailer is going left, right, left. It hits the concrete divider, flips over.
Oh, no.
And it's no joke. This is not even an exaggeration. I turn around and slam on the brakes. I shoot over to the right side. This was when I was actually able to walk. I'm cutting across 3 lanes of traffic. Okay.
It was late. So
right over an overpass. I mean, trucks are coming over there doing 80 miles an hour, and they hit the top, and next thing you know, I'm there. Well, I think me, John, and Jim pushed it to the side just so it wasn't in the road, and we had to leave it there. There was nothing we can do. We opened up the thing. We opened up the back of the trailer, and I expected to see tragedy. I had sold the plane to Jim Snelson. Okay, I did. He was actually coming to pick it. Well, he was coming for various reasons, but he was going to come and help pack the airplane to send back to New Mexico.
Wow.
We open up the back. I really am not kidding you. I gotta tell you, you're gonna die when you see this picture. Because I actually took photographs of the damage.
No, that's extra he had in there. They were heavy.
The tongue hitch, the hitch, the part you put in with the pin.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
heavy.
I had 2 extra ones in there.
Wow.
Yeah, you took pictures of that alongside the road, didn't you?
No, not alongside the road. Okay, is there a way to do more than one picture? No, right?
To your Pepsi.
Okay, here's apparently this. I actually have the damage, a photo of it. I started to repair it. Here's the window. Okay, oops. What the hell's happening?
To infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond.
You got to choose the window you want to show.
I did. I minimized it by mistake. You see right here the leading edge?
Yeah.
Behind the leading edge of the rudder is where it cracked and pushed down. Now, you could see how far down I did the repair. Meaning, I took off the graphics, I sanded the rudder down. I'd like to show you the before the damage, meaning when the airplane was brand new, to the repaired rudder.
But the rudder's all that got damaged, wasn't it?
Yeah, that and the wingtip. The wingtip somehow, the left is the new airplane, the right is actually the repaired without clear.
Looks pretty good.
I actually
Did a
think
good job.
I actually think it looks better because there was a wrinkle. There was actually a wrinkle in the top on the left, if you could see it real close.
That looks good.
Huh?
That looks good.
There was a
Very
little
well done.
wrinkle right above the M in the eye, but not on the new one. I fixed it. Anyway, we've had a lot of fun over the years.
If you want to call it that.
I mean, come on, John. It's all stuff we learned through,
Yeah.
Please tell me you didn't let John help you with the covering and the wet sanding on the skin.
Not on the repair. He had gone home.
Wow.
He actually went home on the repair. But
Hey, look at that. Looks like we lost Mike. Sounds like he's had a long day.
I thought he went to sleep.
Uh-oh.
One more of those, Mike, and you'll be out for good.
Yeah. Walter, I still like that Stiletto 35 you did.
I'm sorry?
I still like that OS 35 Stiletto 35 you did with monocoat. I couldn't believe that thing was monocoat. I went over, picked it up, and looked at it. That thing was gorgeous.
Oh, the yellow one. The multicolor one, right?
One out to Huntersville.
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, it was like 7 or 8
it.
colors, something like that.
Yeah, I thought you were a glutton for punishment, but it was a beautiful job.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike.
Go ahead.
It's Carl. Hey, I finally had a chance to use those plastic shutoffs that you sent to me. They work really sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good. So now all you got to do is find a nurse that can pull them off IV bags for you, and you'll get a little stash of them.
All right.
That should be easy for you, Carl.
No more, Charles.
But
Oh,
you
what
still can
happened
go
here?
there and visit. Anyway, can you do me a favor? If you have any. Yeah, Mike, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, is that Mel back there? Mel Rogers working on stuff? I got a question for Mel.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds that you're making spinner nuts for cyclones? Aluminum spinner nuts for cyclones. Is that in your wheelhouse, or have you done that or considered doing that? I acquired a couple of cyclones and I got no spinner nuts for them. And I'd like to have at least, the stock spinner nut instead of just putting I forget if it's 4 millimeter or 6 on those.
I don't know what engine it would be. I've thought of making some for my little P0s, just so in case I got into combat, I could use the glow plug wrench for a prop nut.
Yeah.
But I could do that. I've just never thought it would be something that I want to do.
Okay. I'm looking for a source. I haven't even asked on Mackie yet. I'm sure somebody in the Miniature Aircraft Combat Association has a bag of spares somewhere, but I gotta come up with a couple.
Is it for the half A?
Yeah, the half A. It fits the 049, the 051, and the 061. It's all the same crank, same shaft.
Yeah, isn't that the same thing that the Fora uses?
No, the Fora is bigger.
The Fora has a bigger nut.
The Fora has a bigger nut. The Profi and the Cyclone are the same. The Fora is bigger, and the reason I know that is because I have to drill my glass props for the Fora. The standard green and blue glass props, they fit right on the Cyclone and the Profi, but the Fora, you got to drill them out, which I don't like very much.
This is a Profi I have, and that's a 4mm. That's a 4mm.
Okay, well, that's what the Cyclone is then.
Yeah,
that's what the Fora is either 5 or 6. I can't remember off time, and my stuff is still in the truck, so I can't go measure it. But the Fora is definitely bigger. Cyclone and Profi are the same, and they look identical too. They're manufactured the same way.
I would think 6mm would be awfully big on a half A.
Okay, well then it's got to be 5, but I know it's bigger because the spinner nuts between 2 are interchangeable, but not the Fora.
I've got a Fora laying here. I can't see it right now. Oh, here it is. This Fora. Oh, it's a 5mm.
It's 5, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a 6. I thought 6 sounded too heavy.
Yeah, I didn't remember off the top of my head. I just knew that it was bigger. It's been so long. Yeah, and I actually prefer having that beefier crank on a half 8 combat motor. You know, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that there was people needed a market for them. That's definitely a marketable item, I think. Make a couple hundred of them, you know.
Right, because it's pretty hard to get Profi stuff. You can get it. The guy at Hobby Club in San Clemente, because I ordered a bunch of needle valves from him, but he had to order them from Russia, from Ukraine, and then they had to come through him. He's the one Profi importer here, and it was hard to get. But like spinner nuts aren't even on Profi's website. And of course, Cyclone has been out of business forever. You cannot get parts anywhere unless somebody's got a stash of them here in the States. And I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure somebody somewhere, if I put out a call, can come up with 3 or 4 of them for me. But if not, sure wish I knew a guy that had a machine shop in his garage that could whip a couple of them up.
He got me all wound up about making rails, and so I decided to mount a Norvell to play with.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's just some. I just did those this morning. Just something. I come up with a better design, adjustable design, in case the wood block is a different thickness. But anyway, yeah.
I got about 10 sets of those mounts for the Norvells for when, because you know that was the hot motor in Half A Combat when they first came out. They replaced the TDs. They went from the TDs to the Norvells, and of course they needed mounts for them. So Larry Driscoll was making aluminum mounts for those. I've got quite a few sets of those.
Yeah, he had those VAs. I still got 3.
Yeah, the VAs too.
Oh, brother.
You know, I need to talk. That's another thing I need to talk to you about is some VAs. I've got some VA stuff. Maybe I'll just send you. I'll post it on the on your Half A Performance site. My questions and what I got going on, because I got a couple that I think are actually 061s.
What in the world is going on? Crazy.
Did they make a VA 061?
Really? I never heard of that. Wow.
Well, they got these things have Nelson heads on them, and Nelson with a head clamp, but the heads are all stripped out. I can't get a wrench on them anymore. But it's not a standard VA head. It's way bigger. You know what? I'll dig it out here in a little bit, and when we get some time, I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Since you're on here,
there's a VA.
Yeah.
That's got a Nelson head. You trouble with those little buttons for the head.
Oh, they're awful, man. Yeah,
they're terrible. Yeah,
they're terrible. They get, and that's the problem I got with the other one I have. The thing is, though, I think the piston on this one, the head is like way bigger than an 049 head. So I don't think it's an 049 VA because my 049 heads will not fit these motors. They're too small. They just fall in there. I'll get everything out and measure it, and we can talk about it.
They have a different bore and stroke than the Russian motors. The Russian motors are basically around, 1 millimeter. 340 thou bore and 340 thou stroke. The VA is a little longer stroke than that. It has a smaller bore. So that makes sense, you know. The VA and the Norvels, you can have an 049 and nothing fits between them because of different bore and stroke.
Exactly. But I'll tell you what, this thing was a honking screamer. I was able to get one plug in it and run it and get it tightened down. And I actually had it on a power pod on a glider with one of the glass props. And the darn thing ran like a 15, man. It had all the power of a 15 on this glider. It was like rocket straight to the sky, man. That ain't no 049. There's no way, man. So that's what got me thinking. It was a hopped up 061 or something.
The little VA, that's pretty rare. You probably.
But the case is the same. The case is the same. I'm gonna dig all that out and measure it up and see what I got. We'll chat.
Measure the bore and let me know what it is.
I will.
Or just a pair of calipers or something rough.
Yep, I got it. All right, we'll turn it back to you, Charles.
All right.
Okay, can I share a couple of pictures here?
Yeah, please do.
All right, let's see if I can find it. Where'd I go? Oh, that's not it. That wasn't it.
To infinity and
All
beyond.
right, I thought I had this down. Pat. Let's try again. All right.
I do that too, you know.
There.
Wow, 061 VA. That'd be fun.
All right.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, now let's see if this keeps working.
I can't see it.
I see it. It's a white plane.
That
with
is,
blue and
that
red
is
tip.
nice.
All right, yeah, this is the airplane that I flew last year, and it is the basis of the airplane. You see two of them now?
Yeah, I see it. It's nice.
No, just
Huh.
it is nice.
All right, let's try it this way then. That's the way I originally built it, and now I made a mod to it, and now it looks like this. All right, wait a minute. I want to show the other picture. All right, you see an airplane now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's see if we can get to it a different way.
See the first one.
I see the Stuka.
Oh, that's Wesley's plane, isn't it?
No, it's actually mine from last year. All right, this is the way I.
Oh yeah,
built
you
it.
changed it.
All right, now let me walk through a few here. Oh crap, it's a bunch of them. So let me call up. It'll show one picture, but it won't show the other. It bugs the heck out of me. All right. Trouble is, I have about 50 pictures in this one folder, and I don't want to walk through all of them.
Well, you need to put your naked pictures.
All right, tell you what. Let me come back to you on this. This isn't working the way I want. I'll just blow me back off here until I figure this thing
All right,
out.
no problem. No problem.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's not easy pulling up pictures.
That's a pretty airplane, Danny.
I got a question for everyone.
All right.
A pretty airplane, Danny.
Thanks.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
pretty, Danny.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Does anybody still use oxygen tubing for fuel line?
No.
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 I have about 50 feet of it downstairs. You can't crimp it. I'll give it that. It's got the
What?
stuff inside it. It's got the it's got 3 little things inside it. You can't crimp it. That's for sure. But you've got to use a clips on the end of it or it'll leak.
Okay, because I've got about 1,000 feet of it, and I was willing to give it away.
Yeah,
Is that vinyl
stuff
tubing?
works great, but
You know, over the years, my oxygen use, they give me, I'm opening it for the first time.
Yeah, the inside of that tubing, it's got a spline to it. It's not
3
it's
of
not,
them.
well, what we use the fire department's splined. It's not smooth inside like regular tubing.
And that means what?
Hard to seal on a needle valve.
Oh, so throw it away?
Get you some of those little. No, get you some of those little clips you get at
Yeah.
Hobby Shop, and they a pinch fit, and you put over it. And
Yeah, you have to clamp
pinch it with pliers and put it over the tube. Okay.
Go ahead, what?
Go ahead, Eddie.
Oh, you got to use a clamp on it.
Go.
Otherwise, it'll leak.
Oh.
Or you'll suck air.
Yeah, but it does work.
I mean, when I was
That's what I got on my 4-stroke.
you know, used to buy it by the foot in the hobby stores, or every 3 feet, whatever it was, and now I got hundreds and hundreds of feet. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I even
still have my mama or my mother-in-law. He's
have
got it in pretty colors.
Pretty green.
Yeah,
It's
it's a pretty
oxygen
green.
tube. I didn't know it was. Oh wow! You could see something inside the green one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it
so
should be 3 little pins.
nobody could use this. Nobody could use it.
Don't think
No.
so.
Okay.
Okay, I think I got my act together. Let me try again here.
All right.
It's a shame.
Dungeon it goes. Just thought I'd ask, guys.
Go for it, Danny.
I'm trying. There we go.
Appreciate you trying, Walt.
Okay.
There's a time when
Try
that stuff
again.
would have been like gold, I'm telling you.
This is the airplane. I built this for last year, and that's the way I flew it at the Nationals. Flew very well. I thought it had some potential, so I made a change to it.
Wow.
Oh,
look at
right.
that. I like that.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and I
Good
was able to
change.
do this because it's when I built it with a bolt-on wing and tail. So I put a new tail on it, and then I did one
Oh.
other thing. It's really hard to see, but I actually lengthened the main gear 3/4 of an inch.
Right.
I had a pronounced nose high attitude when I originally built it, and it worked very well. Very good for takeoffs and worked well for landings too. It forced me to be conscious of slowing the airplane down and flaring it out. So a lot of times trikes, people tend to fly their trikes. They tend to land them really fast because they can and they stick on the ground. But it's hard to make a graceful, soft landing, when you're going fast. That's all.
Mhm.
So, and I was able to do that. You can't, you see how low the tail was
Right.
originally. So the main gear's in the same position now. It's just 3/4 of an inch longer. It's still somewhat nose high, and it's coming off the ground really clean. I like that. But this is the way I flew it this morning, and I'm very, very happy with it. And that's the before and after, if you will.
Okay. Very nice.
So I'm really excited about this airplane now. It's
Pretty cool.
It flew well last year, but as of this morning, I thought it was flying better, and I'm excited. Just let it go with that. I'm
What's your
really
aspect ratio on
optimistic.
that, Denny?
Really optimistic about doing well. So,
Denny, what's your aspect ratio on that wing?
it's only about 5-1 on this one.
Oh, okay, it's pretty standard then.
Yeah, it's.
Danny, what did you like better in this one versus the previous version? What flight characteristics do you like better?
It seems to be more in the groove, more track, better track, and it still comes out of the groove, to turn very well. I was doing square loops today with the most incredible long flat sides, which of course is the real measure of doing good corners and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then flattening out immediately. And this is my first day out with the airplane, and first time out with the airplane this year, so it still got room to grow and mostly consistency. My flying buddy Wes, he watched it. He said he couldn't really put his finger on it, but he said the airplane looked smoother than it did before. That was a first impression. So, and I don't have a front view of it, but I think part of the payoff is the fact that the stab is up a little bit, even though the center of the stab goes through the fuselage, really in a normal position. It's just above the thrust line, but it's up out of the wing wake, and but it's still in the accelerated airflow from the prop stream.
Yep.
So it seems to be very efficient. Now the new stab is the same. I could set the old one on it, set it right on top, and tip to tip, it fits just inside the fins there on the old stab. So it's not an area thing or anything like that. They maintain the same elevator and stabilizer ratio, or chord ratios and all that. It's the same size tail, but it just seems better. Right?
Well, I was always a proponent of putting the elevator in clean air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we go round and round, and there's another discussion going on now about inline airplanes and everything like that. And it's one of those things that you think it through, and gosh, an inline airplane ought to be the right way to go. But then when you go to fly it and stuff, and sometimes it just doesn't seem that way. I don't know how else to put it. And so I don't know that we have all the answers on that part just yet. But
I talked to Joe and asked him
how do you
the Blue Max, and I flew his Blue Max, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to him about. I said, "Hey Joe, did you ever fly a shark?" He said, "Yes." And he said he never flew a shark that didn't hunt.
Really?
Yes, that was his quote. He has not flown. He hasn't flown a shark that did not hunt.
Wow, I'm surprised to hear that.
You talking about a Shark 45 or the Yashenko shark?
We're talking Yashenko shark here.
Yeah. Now the Yashenko is that's an inline airplane, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I was always curious to fly one of them and just to see what's the big fuss about them.
Well, obviously, it's a good design. It's exceptionally well made. It's easy to buy, and well, if you got the holding money, I guess it's easy enough to buy and stuff. There's a lot of compelling, good things about it. Now he's got it available in electric or gas. All good news. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As far as is it the end?
Yeah, but what do those things run?
I still want to fly one if I get a chance somewhere.
I'm surprised to hear the comment only because so many people really seem to like them and everything like that, and I can't imagine them liking an airplane that hunted.
I agree with you. I mean, just that's a little bit the question.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to jibe with all of the glowing things you hear about, sharks being a wonderful airplane and everything like that. So it's a surprise.
Denny, it might be partly that the top champions are flying that airplane, so Joe Blow's wants one that the top airplane drivers fly, and it's got to be good because they're flying it, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you watch somebody like Orestes fly, and boy, there's
That's what I would.
indication. Nothing in his flight that says anything about hunting. Let's put it that way. So
Yep.
I wonder if he's found some silver bullet trimming it or something like that. But
There's always a silver
I
bullet.
don't know, but you watch his flights, and he's about as steady as I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Could
still
be just very good.
you can still keep pushing the CG forward until it stops hunting.
Oh, he's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Denny, your flaps on that plane.
But if you watch that thing turn, he's got a heck of a turn too.
I'm sorry, Charles.
Your flaps, they're not full span, right?
They're not. The outers, 5 or 6 inches, are tabs.
Okay.
I have those fixed up as trim tabs. So
I couldn't tell by the pictures; wasn't clear to me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is Mike Lonke still back there?
It's an interesting airplane. Doesn't have much side area, but an interesting airplane. Yeah, he's there.
Mike, I have a message from Middlesex Modelers. He says, "Tell Mike the GRS Half A Fora takes the same prop nut as the Profi and Cyclone." Your mic is muted, Mike.
You're muted.
I said, thank you, Al Ferraro.
I thought it was Al Ferraro.
Yeah, that's Al. Thank you, Al. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Al.
Well, Al, since you're on here, if you got a couple of spares, buddy. Actually, I'm sorry. I just thought of something. Al, if it's the GRS 4 or the black case 4 that fits it, there should be a lot of those out there because I know a lot of those grenaded. I know a lot of those black case GRSs blew up. So there should be plenty of spinner nuts available. That's an inside joke in the combat world. Fora made a black case 049 half A, and a lot of them blew up. And then you could get parts for them.
That ain't good.
That's a big ouch.
Yeah.
He says that Sub has parts.
Who does?
Sub.
Sub.
S-U-B.
S-U-B. I don't know who that is. Let's see if the answer's up.
Oh, Stub. S-T-U-B.
Stubblefield. Stubblefield.
All right. You got it. Thumbs up. Thank you, Mike.
Isn't that Stubblefield?
That'd be my guess. That'd be my guess as well.
I don't have a clue who that is, but anyway.
Yeah, Stubblefield. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, he's a world-class combat flyer.
Yeah, I've seen him beat a guy with a broken arm on the other. I think he flies with one arm and the other arm was in a cast, and he still beat his opponent.
That's because he's beating up the other component with the cast.
And Al says yes.
That's why they call it combat, guys.
Yeah, I know, Mike. I know you got it.
Is that how Mike's son there is he biting them on the knees? Is there because he's so much smaller than those guys?
Could be. I used to bump him with my fat.
This is Stubblefield.
we used to mouse race, and I used to just take the handle and put it straight up over my head, and I just get in the center of the circle and just turn and make everybody else go around me. Then I knew I was turning the fast. I knew I was turning the smallest circle because I wasn't going anywhere. You know, everybody else walking around me. Sure. So I'm turning the smallest circle. And then, I mean, you know, if your plane was anywhere near as fast as the others, you were the fastest airplane, just automatically. But when it came time to land, it was interesting because these are a foot shorter than me, and I'm having to try to get down to get under them, you know.
If you
that got a little challenging, but you know,
you tried that trick racing up in the Detroit area, you would have had sore ribs, shall we say? You'd have got pushed into a circle. So.
Oh, I had sore ribs.
Yeah,
I had. They do that here too. They do that here too. I had another three. See, one guy got me with his elbow 3 times. Said, "You do it one more time, and I've got a hand free too." He realized I wasn't kidding because he got me pretty good that 3rd time.
I think the favorite thing I ever saw is there was somebody out there. There used to be a handle that was made and it had a spike on the bottom, so you could take it like stick it in the ground and hold your lines clear and everything.
Yeah,
he was flying rat race with a handle like that.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lot of fun in passing. And I think he flew one race like that. It was like, no. You go find yourself another handle. When you putting up with that. Yeah.
Anybody remember the Hunt handle?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I got 2 of them. I used to use
I have one. I don't know what you're talking about.
I used to use those in combat also.
Mm-hmm.
That hurts when you hit the guy in the head with that. You know.
Hurts him. Yeah.
That old fox. That old metal fox handle did too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Charles, I'll get one, show it to you Friday.
All right.
I'll bring my collection.
That's right. It had the screw nut. Yeah. Okay. Now I know what you're talking about. It had the adjustment screw on the bottom, a big brass nut like on the bottom. Yeah. I would have got somebody's attention.
Yeah. And arms about 4 inches long sticking out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I spoke to Bobby about that handle, and he says it's not a good handle anymore.
The idea of those long extensions was like power steering kind of thing that offset.
Yeah.
But then you couldn't finesse the airplane very well.
Well, you could adjust the neutral in flight.
Yeah, that's one, but the other, I'm talking about the length of the handle. That was, as you moved, it was like power steering past, once you got past neutral.
Yeah.
And the problem is, though, a lot of guys now fly stunt with basically using the index and little finger, on the handle like this, and it's hard to do that because
there was a guy.
It increases the load on the line as you pull it back. So people have gotten away from that overhang.
Yeah, here, let me show you.
You ever seen anybody fly with a set of the wires came out to you and there was 2 rings and that's all they put on was a ring on this finger and a ring on this finger?
There was a Japanese.
That was a weird looking thing.
Oh wow,
that's it.
That's a Hunt handle.
That's Bobby Hunt's handle. Yes, sir.
Oh, interesting. All right.
His daddy made that.
2 of them. I used to have 4 of them. They're just zip tied here, but this will stick out about here. So what John's saying is your lead out line is all the way out here. So we're it's like power steering, all the way out here. Problem is we can't adjust it this way. But
I think it was
get hit in the head with this
the
thing.
length of the plastic arm.
But get hit in the head with this thing.
Yep.
I got news for you. You got a headache at the end.
I bet.
I used to have 6 of these handles.
That's it.
There was a Chinese.
That's why you wear a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Chinese pilot, I believe it was, at the World Champs.
Yeah.
That flew with rings on the end of the line that fit on his fingers.
Yeah, I believe that's where I
there
saw
you
it.
go.
That's different too, Mike.
That's Sam's current combat handle for speed limit.
Oh,
Who
interesting.
makes that handle?
A guy in North
That's interesting.
Carolina that comes to Huntersville. He said he made them for himself and his kid back in the 90s when they flew combat. And he made this for his kid. And he gave Sam 2 of these handles a couple years ago. Sadly, one of them got broken. But that's one solid piece of wood. That's not 2 halves joined together. That's one solid piece. And it's got a knurl nut on the bottom, and you just and do your adjustment. But it's close spacing, for combat.
Right.
Everything on the market for stunt is too big for combat. It's all too big. So everybody has to make their own stuff, come up with their own stuff.
What kind of lines are those?
Oh, that's Spectra line for combat. Wait till you see my handle. You're going to love this. So I couldn't find one small enough. I made this one, and I hold it like this with the down in between my pinky. But that gives me the 2 3/4 inch spacing that I need for combat.
Okay.
Interesting.
I made it like 10 years
is
ago.
interesting.
And I'm so comfortable with it, I don't change it. And I drilled the back, put a cotter pin in there, and I can, I drilled holes, and then there's a channel for the cable to go in, and I can pull the pin and move it. And it's like, 1/8 inch increments on the holes to pop it in and out.
What size bell crank are you using, Mike?
What's that?
What size bell crank are you using?
3 inch in most everything except half A. We use a 2 inch in half A. On the what?
On the push rod. How far out are you?
Closest hole in, and then
just the closest hole in.
Yeah, closest hole, and then probably a 1/2 inch horn. Well, a 1 inch horn. I use those Dubro 440 horns that are.
Okay. They look like a bolt.
Yeah, they look like a bolt, and they're 1 inch. And usually the clevis or the horn for it is about halfway down.
Yeah.
And then I cut them off. I snip them off at the top because I'm never going to want to go bigger or slower. I always want to go faster. So I cut them off just to less stuff that can snag. But I wanted to say something else. I forgot to mention they flew Carrier at Detroit too. The Carrier guys were out. Paul Smith, Mark Warwashana, and Leon. I forget Leon's last name. Yes, Leon Parsik.
Yeah.
Did you know he still lives on Joy Road and Archdale?
You're kidding. And Joy
Across
Road.
from where Herman Gardens used to be.
Uh-huh.
My neighborhood is bad, and I call Rouge Park. It's a war zone. He still lives there. I think he's 84 years old, and he comes out every Wednesday and cuts the field at Rouge Park. He puts his lawnmower on his trailer, drives from Archdale, goes down to the flying circles, because they have two, they got the paved circle there, but they put in a center pad between where you park and where the paved circle is, and they cut a circle there for combat. And they actually got a paved pilot circle there now. But Leon goes out there every Wednesday and mows all around the paved circle and then mows the area for the grass circle. Like 85 years old, man. I was like, man, aren't you scared to come down here by yourself, man? Because Rouge Park, the Detroit flying site, is a very sketchy place.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be there alone in the morning because bad people are coming out of the woods after they've done bad stuff. It's I'll talk more about it on the after show. Let's just put it that out.
It's dangerous.
But anyway, old Leon's still there. Yeah, dangerous. Very dangerous.
Hey, Carl, did you go to a contest this past weekend, or you didn't go? I know your mic's muted. I'll give you a chance.
Guys, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all Friday.
All right, Eddie. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Okay.
Take care.
Take yourself.
Yeah, Charles. I
Hang
did
in,
went to
Eddie.
I did go to that contest.
See, Eddie.
Well, tell us all about it. Tell us what you
Well,
thought of it.
Well, you have to understand, it was my first trip up there by myself, and I followed the directions, but I ended up on the wrong side of the park, and I had to ask the park ranger where the competition was going to take place, and it was on the north side, so I just had to make a horseshoe loop through a frontage road there, and got to the park and met up with Sean, and
That's Sean Day, for anyone to know. It's
right.
pretty good
and
combat
it
pilot.
was for speed limit, and it was interesting being at a contest for the first time, see what actually goes on. I think Sean took second in that event, and there was a lot of mid-air collisions from line entanglements. But I don't know which is more exciting to watch, is that planes actually battling out in the air, or watching guys that are almost my age run from the planes to grab their handles, where some of them can't hardly run. That was pretty entertaining.
I know they're probably trying to recruit younger guys to be.
Yeah.
So
the weather was nice. Wind came up a little bit, but not real bad, and the weather was, as far as the heat and the coldness, was comfortable for most of the day. And the contest was over about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and turned around and drove home. So,
very
and
cool.
I think there was about 12, maybe 20, 15 to 25 pilots. And then, of course, this is Saturday, and then Sunday they were having the fast combat, but I didn't stay and watch that. So. But,
Very cool. I'm glad you went.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So,
Greg
Hill.
No, Greg didn't show up. I'm kind of hooked on it. I'm thinking maybe I might get into it, but I gotta get some. But anyway.
Well,
But
combat is more money than
I'm
stunt.
looking.
I see you back, guys.
You take care. See you Friday night.
See you, Mel.
Michael, I'm looking forward to seeing you and your son at Huntersville fly the half ace. That's just the half ace too darn fast for me to even see, let alone fly. I'm amazed how fast those little buggers are.
They're fast.
They also
That's
had
ridiculous.
They also had a half-A contest up there in the morning, and then the speed limit was in the afternoon. That was interesting to watch.
Oh, did you go to Don Jensen's contest?
Yeah.
You talking to Carl?
Yeah.
You
That
went
was up in what was the name of the park, Charles?
Whittier Narrows. Whittier Narrows.
Up in the South Del Monte area, by Pomona and Corona.
Yeah. You should fly it. It's a lot of fun.
I know.
He flies combat planes by himself.
Matter of fact, there was a gentleman up there that came down from Sacramento, and he's only been flying combat for about 4 to 6 months, and this was his first contest. He was running around the circle like a squirrel, but he did pretty well. He didn't win anything, but he did pretty well as far as competing, you know, being a rookie. So,
Well, if you do, you have some good support out here with Greg Hill and Sean Day. You guys squared away.
Yeah, combat guys are pretty darn cool when it comes to new guys, man. Especially in the speed limit event. I mean, that's the one you want to enter. That's the one you want to start with. And
I met the people that were real nice. I helped. I pit for Sean a few times on his practice runs, and launched a couple other aircrafts from other guys I didn't know. They were trying to get in the air, and it was just everybody helps everybody, and everybody pits for everybody, and it was a nice event.
yeah, you pit, you judge, you time, you count cuts, you do whatever you can. You know, it's
sometimes you're pulling triple duty, you know?
Yeah. And another fun part was where these guys, like the guys that were pitting, watching run around to the aircraft after it came in for whatever the reason. Like I said, some of them couldn't hardly run, but it was fun watching them. So.
Well, sometimes you got to run.
Sure.
And you know you got to run. There's other times when you know it's not going to help, so you just walk. You're like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
You know, it's just all a matter of how much time is left on the clock, how much you're down by, or if you're ahead. You know, there's like 45 seconds left and you got a broken prop. There's no point in running.
Well, there was
you're not going to get up.
They had one mid-air collision, and the guy had one wing left, and so to get some air time, you fired up and got it back in the air, but only went maybe 5 feet, and it just hit the ground. That was pretty funny. So.
I was going to say, you're telling a story. There was only one mid-air collision. There was one where he got back up. Yeah, we had we had quite a few in speed limit. Sam and I didn't have any. We didn't have any mid-airs, but there was mid-airs and slow. There was, I'd say, half of the matches in fast had mid-airs. We had a couple of good ones. Confetti everywhere. Two 120-mile-an-hour airplanes running smack into each other. And stuff raining down from the sky, but the shut-offs worked, you know, so the engines quit. It was safe, and it was good. We didn't. I think there might have been one mid-air and halfway, but we didn't have any flyaways. Last year, Ronnie had a flyaway with his half-A, man, and his Cyclone took off, and it went on the other side of the river, Dennis. It was in a tree on the other side of the river there, but it was only like 10 feet up. They were able to get around there and get it down.
Yeah, they had one flyaway and halfway up there as well. But they had quite a few mid-air collisions, but they all went out and got the spare because of the double elimination match.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Last thing you got me about combat. You guys, go ahead.
I just said waving goodbye. I got to get up and go to work in the morning. So.
All right, John. Hey, thanks for coming in.
Oh, that's
my pleasure always.
Yeah.
Take care, John.
Yeah,
Hey, thanks, Tom, for coming in, Tom.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, John.
Hi, John.
See you, John.
Good night.
Hey,
Take care, John.
There. All righty.
Have a safe week. And Tom has come in. All right. That's what I could not understand about combat. I went over and watched all these guys, and I knew they were going over and smacking motors and putting them up and going up and having the mid-air. Then I go over and look, and these cats have got Nelsons and expensive motors on their airplanes. I'm sitting there, wow. I thought stunt was expensive. My God. The guy's got 4 motor, and he's putting it on combat. I'm going and having a mid-air. Coming down, and he went to his truck and grabbed 2 more so he'd have a spare for the next round. Oh, man. I can't. I'm going back to the stunt circle.
Yeah, I saw
stunt circle. I couldn't stand to watch.
Yeah, some of these pilots that were up there this last weekend, they had big duffel bags full of kits. And what I learned was that they take the plane that they use in speed, they use, if it's not damaged and if the motor is still running, they take those same planes and they gear them up to do fast combat by changing the prop and tweaking stuff here and there. It's unbelievable. So.
Yeah, I just couldn't. The money that they put in those motors was just amazing to me.
Yeah.
And then most of them are buying Ukrainian airplanes, which that's not cheap.
Well, golly,
I thought stunt was expensive. These guys are wild.
The gentleman up there that was real friendly, his name is Lee. He was competing with an FP40 OS Max.
Lee Letchworth?
That's probably slow company.
Yeah, that might have been him, yeah.
It was flying speed limit combat. It's any airplane, any motor up to a 40.
Right.
That's why it's an entry-level event.
Yeah.
We've all our speed limit planes have LA-25s, or if we build foamies, bigger ones, we put LA-40s or FP-40s on them.
Right. And I
So
thought, well, hey, I got a couple Evolution 36s, but
that'll work.
Then you told me that I would have to slow them down. But
Yeah, you gotta
anyway.
slow them down a little bit. But that speed limit is the entry level event.
Right. Yeah,
You can use an LA40 or an LA25. You can get a box of cores from Phil for $60 enough to build 4 airplanes, and you can build 4 airplanes for about $120, maybe $150. You can build 4 airplanes and you put 4 LAs on them, and you got enough to go to a contest.
Yeah.
If you build your own, you can build them for $25 a piece.
Right.
If you just buy the cores and then make all the other material yourself, which as a hobbyist, as a modeler, you're going to have that stuff. You know, it's not
what I learned from Sean is that the plane can only turn 2 laps in 2.65 seconds. I think he told me for 2 laps.
No, it's
or is it
the current rule is 7.2 seconds for 2 laps.
Okay. Well, is that
75?
Is that with or without a streamer?
With a streamer, but it also they were probably flying 80 mile an hour there.
Right.
They fly 80 mile an hour on the West Coast. We fly 75 in the Midwest and on the East Coast. So the difference there, it's the same event.
Yeah.
They're just 5 miles an hour faster, but because they're flying 80, they have to have shutoffs on their airplanes.
Correct.
We do not have to have shutoffs on our airplanes.
Yeah.
Where we fly.
What kind of shutoff? Is that the one where if the motor comes loose?
Well, if a line breaks or a flyway, it acts on the G forces. The way it was explained to me, then it just swings over and pinches the fuel line, like a weight on like a pendulum.
Yeah, that's a swing arm shutoff. That's one type of shutoff, but there's also a line tension bell crank shutoff, where the fuel line actually goes through the bell crank, and the bell crank has a torsion spring in it, and the pressure of the airplane, the G forces of the plane being out on the line, keeps the bell crank pulled, so the hole is open for the fuel line to pass through. If you lose line tension, the torsion spring shuts the bell crank off and pinches the fuel line.
Yeah.
There's 100 different ways to skin that cat, man.
Yeah.
They got magnets, they got swing arms, there's line tension bell cranks. You can do a spring with a string over the wing that goes around your fuel line. I mean, I could show you half a dozen different ones.
Yeah.
And most of them work. Sometimes they don't. But the most reliable one is the one that Jeff Rain and Tony Huber made, which is the bell crank shutoff. Now, all the F-2D airplanes have swing arm shutoffs, basically.
Yeah.
Which is a weight. It's a counterweight.
But it was all interesting. I learned a lot. I learned how they scored points too. You know, when they get the cut and the ribbon, they can get the same amount of cuts, but whoever got up in the air quicker, because he got up in the air quicker, he wins the contest, or he gets points for something. If I understand that correctly,
Wins the match.
Excuse me. Yeah, wins the match.
Wins the match more.
1 point for every second of airtime, 100 points a cut.
Correct.
So if you're tied on cuts, whoever was in the air longer will win.
Correct.
They're not doing kills anymore, right?
Half A is a kill event.
It is.
Yes. Half A is a kill event. Kill, it's over. But if no one kills each other, they still count cuts and airtime. Because a lot of times there's not a kill in half A. But you'll have a cut here and a cut there, and you have airtime and airtime. But even if the other guy's got 3 cuts on you, if you kill him with 10 seconds in the match to go, you win.
Yeah.
There are still kill events. Yes.
Wow.
I still the most amazing combat event I ever saw was Howard Rush. He's flying a plane that had a rudder on it. That was the darndest airplane I ever saw.
What do you mean?
I've never watched that much combat. Do what?
You mean a vertical rudder?
Yeah. They
Yeah,
had a
that's
vertical
what-
rudder
that's
on
what
it, and I can't.
Well,
Go ahead.
in the old days, the slow rules, in the old days of slow combat, the rules stated that the airplane had to have a canopy and a rudder on it.
Rudder.
It had to resemble a real airplane. Now that
Well, this
morphed
was this was in '75 or '6, and it was definitely not slow.
Well,
These things roar, and everybody know. I don't think anybody had a rudder but Howard.
slow
But,
isn't
man, he
slow.
was honking.
Slow isn't slow.
No,
Slow
I
is
know.
105 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But just the the term slow is a holdover from the 50s. That's what they called it. They just never changed the name of the event. Okay. Slow combat, which was just taken off the books, out of the rule book as an event 2 years ago. They officially killed slow as an event.
What?
Yes. Slow combat is no more in the rule book. Okay. But what slow combat was suction tanks with Nelsons at the end. And then they had to have long booms. There was a prescribed measurement for how long the boom had to be, and it had to run on a suction tank. Before that, it was Foxes on suction tanks. Before that, it was other engines on suction tanks, and they had to have a canopy and a rudder. The rules morphed over time, but slow combat was never slow, especially in the last 30 years. They were flying Fox Mark 7s and Nelson 36s. When the Nelson came out, that's what they were using to fly slow combat. Slow combat is an oxymoron. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know.
Oxymoron.
That's it.
Yeah,
I think it is oxymoron.
to describe the event. It never fit the event. They were flying well over 100 miles an hour, but that was slow combat. Okay.
It was more a description of the plane.
All I know is it was too quick for me.
Speed
It was
limit.
too quick for me. I never could.
Speed limit
I
combat.
never could fly them.
Is an event that they started, I don't know, around 2000 or 2002, somewhere in there. It's over 20 years old, but it was not an official AMA event. Okay. It was just a side event. It was never listed in the AMA rule book as an event for speed limit, and slow combat was still in there. What happened is less and less guys were flying slow with Nelsons and suction tanks, and everybody was getting into this speed limit event because they could take their FAI planes, their F2D stuff, put a 25 on it, slow down at 75, and fly that event. Eventually, slow combat died. It doesn't get flown anywhere in the United States and hasn't been regularly forever. They still fly it in Detroit because those guys they fly everything up there. But the last rule cycle proposal, there was two things in there. One was to rename slow combat speed limit combat. Well, they didn't want to do that. So they just killed slow as an event. It's gone. It's gone from the rule book.
Okay.
Speed limit combat is now an official AMA event. It is no longer just a SIG event. Slow combat is dead. It's gone. You can't get a sanction for a slow combat contest. We fly it in Detroit for funsies. We just fly it because everybody's got and we fly it by the old rules. And today, everyone refers to speed limit combat as slow combat. Everyone says, oh, they're flying slow combat. They're flying. No. Nobody's flying slow combat. Slow combat's dead. It's gone. That name is dead. It's over. It's history. The event that's the 75-mile-hour event is speed limit combat from here to 4. There is no more slow combat.
Well, I'm glad you explained that, because I was thinking maybe I had to start off in slow combat when they were doing it back in the 70s, maybe the late 60s. But now that you said that, if I want to get involved, I'd have to go to speed limit.
Yeah, that's what you want to fly. You want to call it what it is, which is speed limit. If you want to fly slow combat, you're flying a Nelson 36 on suction.
Yeah.
They're two completely different events.
Yeah.
And slow was a bad word to describe the event as it was being flown.
Oh wow.
Because the airplanes are going 105, 100, you know, 100 over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, I remember when they first started flying it, and then, like you say, they had like the 300 square inch airplanes, some minimum some fuselage length, canopy
Yes,
rudder.
and
They
a
were
canopy
using,
and rudder.
like Enya 29s and 35s and stuff. They
Right.
were probably nominally 80 mile an hour airplane or so
Sure.
at that time. And of
Right.
course, you know, the competition being what it is over time, I remember watching these airplanes that looked awfully big flying past combat, and said, no, those are still technically slow combat
Slow.
airplanes. But they were as fast as as fast combat used to
Right.
be. You know,
Right.
they were,
Well, I
they
think
were 100-mile-an-hour airplanes. So
I think slow had an engine displacement of 36 for
Yeah.
slow combat, right? But
Right.
then they dropped the canopy requirement, they dropped the rudder requirement, and then of course, you know, Fox, when they were flying slow combat, they probably started with the 36X. Well, then the combat specials came out, and the Mark 1s, Mark 2s, Mark 3s, Mark 4s. Well, man, you start getting into Mark 6s and Mark 7s, and then the Nelson came out, which is a 36 displacement. But you can run it on a suction tank with a Venturi. That's what made the event go over 100 miles an hour was the Mark 7s and the Nelson 36s. Because it didn't have it didn't say you couldn't run a Nelson 36. It just said you could run anything up to a 36.
and up to a 36 on a suction tank.
On a
and,
suction tank. So that's
when everybody's flying loop bypass engines and everything like that was fine. When they started running schnurls and
yes,
and ball bearings and everything like that, all of a sudden they go pretty darn fast.
They go really darn fast, man.
So-
Really darn fast. But that's what I'm saying. The event started out with that name, and
Yeah.
it morphed into anything but slow combat. The name
Yeah.
never kept up with the event.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
when it first came out, it wasn't an official event either. It was just
Right.
it was supposed to be the entry level event that, of course, all the experts jumped right into because it was so much fun and everything like that. But
And then when Speed Limit came out like 20 years ago, everybody comes along and that's slow combat because the planes are slow because they might have seen Nelson
Yeah.
fast, and then you see Speed Limit and they just naturally call it slow combat, but it's the wrong terminology for the event. I'll shut up now.
No, but thank you very much because I didn't
Well,
understand.
thanks, Mike.
'Cause I would
I didn't
hear
understand it
slow
either.
combat and speed limit and fast combat. And that's without the names out here.
Fast
And I was
combat is
confused.
still a Nelson. It's still a Nelson, but it's on a bladder. So believe it or not, you get 30 more miles per hour when you run a Nelson on a bladder than when you do on a suction tank. Because we're running the same props. You still run an 8.6 or thereabout on a Nelly, but the difference between running it on a suction tank and running on a bladder is 30 miles an hour.
well, you
But
start
on the-
running a
but on the
Venturi
fast-
that's that big
on the
instead of
fast-
one that's that big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the-
That's
on the
the
fast-
other thing is that the suctions, you got to put a smaller Venturi in them to make them go. So
Well, on the fast combat, don't they use 52-foot lines versus a 60 feet?
no, 60 feet for big block fast. Now you might be thinking, did they fly F2D fast there?
I think that's what Sean
Okay.
was flying. Yeah.
Okay, so they flew F2D fast. That's an outlaw event. That's another event that's not an official AMA event.
Oh, I see.
What happened there? So there's F2D combat where you fly two airplanes. Each pilot can have two planes. Those are 15 size motors on 52-foot lines.
Okay.
You got a pit crew, two planes. You can change the streamer. That's FAI combat. FAI.
Right. Okay. No, they weren't doing that this weekend because
Okay.
everybody had more.
Let me finish, Carl.
Sure,
Let me
I'm
finish.
sorry. Sure.
What happened with F2D over the last 20 years is the FAI changed the rules on Venturi sizes and muffler sizes for the airplanes. They were getting so fast that FAI, I don't know why. They just changed the rules. So they put them down. They restricted the size of the Venturis. They restricted the size of the mufflers. Like, I don't know, 15 years ago. Maybe it was 20 years ago. So now you got all these guys that have all these illegal motors for FAI. They can't fly them in an F2D contest because they're not legal. So the F2D Fast event was created where these guys could run their motors that had bigger Venturis and bigger mufflers on them and still use their equipment. And they just run it. It's a non-sanctioned, non-AMA sanctioned event. But if you got all this equipment that you can't fly legally in FAI, you want to do something with it. So they put an event together, and some of them call it Outlaw F2D, or they call it F2D Fast. And they fly it as a single airplane event. And so after an F2D event or whatever, they'll dig out all their old crap that's not legal for F2D, and they'll use it so they can go have fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
F2D Fast is much like Speed Limit was for the last 15, 20 years. I believe in the last rules proposal, there was a proposal to make F2D Fast an AMA event. Basically, it's an outlaw FAI F2D event where there's no restrictions on the engine size or the Venturi size or the muffler. You can use any combination of that in F2D Fast, but you cannot fly that equipment in an F2D contest because it exceeds the limitations of the rules.
Sure.
But that's another little just guys got together and said, hey, let's make this event because we got this stuff. It's the same reason the guys in Detroit still fly slow combat, even though it's not an event anymore, because everybody's got Nelsons on suction and they all got a dozen slows in their basement and they want to use them up, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Very cool. Hey guys, we're gonna transition to the after party. And it's only 9 o'clock out here, but it's midnight everywhere else, I guess. But we had a pretty good show. Matter of fact, I missed. Here's Timothy DeBoard. He says, "I just bought 3 Fox 35Ss, or 335Ss. One has a black head, and the exhaust port rolls around the back ID of the cylinder. What model Fox engine is that? You know that, Mike?
It sounds like a 1959 Combat Special.
Because they
it's
before my time.
Didn't Lou Woolard make a black anodized head for his Fox 35s?
Lou made black heads for his. I do know that, but that motor's way before my time.
You have to see a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I misspoke. He didn't say 35S. This is 35s. 35s plural.
Oh, 35s. Gotcha.
Yeah. He had the S, and I'm thinking of my 35S that I have. But anyways, we've had.
Well, then it's probably, like he said, a 59 Combat Special.
Okay, and the old Combat Special had a 4-bolt backplate. That would be the other easy to distinguish thing. And stunts are all 3-bolt backplates.
Yeah.
So the Lou Woolard Fox would have had.
Didn't they make a 2-bolt backplate? Didn't they make?
Yeah, they did on a 4-bolt head, but that's way back.
Yeah.
They made one with a 4-bolt head and a 2-bolt backplate, but you don't want to run it. That's a collector's piece.
Yeah.
You don't want to run that.
All right. I think Charles is still trying to transition us here, so
we're gonna end the live stream, but we're not done. We have the after party. You have to have come in to the show through the Stunt Hangar to get the link to continue on. I just end the stream, but we continue on. And we've had 27 viewers and 22 likes. So if you haven't given us a like, please give us a thumbs up. And Timothy DeBoard says, yes, that is it. I don't know what that it is, which one that is, but something you guys are talking about.
4-bolt backplace, 59 stuff.
That is it. So anyways.
Yeah, 4-bolt backplace.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, thanks for people coming in. I appreciate it. Without you guys, wouldn't be no show. And I also appreciate you guys out there in the chat. Everybody contributes to make this thing happen. So we have a new member in Dennis Adamison. Thank you very much, Dennis, for subscribing. And if we need, I mean, we definitely could use more subscribers. We could use more super chats. We need you to support this event. I mean, support this show. And so please consider, and also don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment. That also helps too. So with that being said, we're going to end the stream, and I'm going to open up the lobby so those who know the link can get in. And let me see where. Let me do that now. And all right, so now people can come and go. And thank you for coming in. I'll see you guys Friday. We'll be back